There are 7,046,000,000 people on the planet, and most of us have the audacity to think we matter. You hear the one about the comedian who croaked? He wanted to battle wearing chainmail made of jokes. Hey! You hear the one about the screenwriter who passed away? He was giving elevator pitches and the elevator got stuck halfway. He ended up eating smush sandwiches they pushed through a crack in the door and repeating the same crappy screenplay idea about talking dogs until his last day. Hey, you hear the one about the fisherman who passed? He didn't jump off that ledge, he just stepped out into the air and pulled the ground up towards him really fast. Like he was pitching a line about fishing for concrete. The earth is a drum and he's hitting it on beat. The reason there's smog in Los Angeles is because if we could see the stars, if we could see the context of the universe in which we exist, if we could see how small each one of us is against the vastness of what we don't know, no one would ever audition for a McDonald's commercial again. And then where would we be? No frozen dinners and no TV. And is that a world we want to text in? Either someone just microwaved popcorn, I hear the sound of 1,000 people pulling their heads out of their asses in rapid succession. The people are hunched over in Boston. They're starting screen printing companies and designing apps in San Francisco. They're grinning in Los Angeles like they got fish hooks in the corners of their mouth. But don't paint me like the good guy, because every time I write I get to choose the angle that you view me and select the nicest light. You wouldn't respect me if you could hear the typewriter chatter tapping through my mind at night. The same stupid tape loop of old sitcom dialogue and crappy tattered memories of some girl I got to grind on in high school. But truth be told, I'm unlikely to hold you down because my brain is a crowded subway train and people keep deciding to get on the next one that rolls through town. I'm frowning and hunched over in Boston. I'm joining a false movement in San Francisco. I'm smiling in Los Angeles like I got fish hooks in the corners of my mouth, and I'm celebrating on weekends because there are 7,047,000,000 people on the planet and I have the audacity to think I matter. I know it's a lie, but I prefer it to the alternative because I got a tourniquet tied at my elbow. I got a blunt wrap filled with compliments and I'm burning it. But don't tell me to go to sleep because I've been bouncing off my bedroom wall since I was hecka small. I'm every age at once and tucked inside ourselves like Russian nesting dolls. My mother is an 8-year-old girl. My grandson is a 74 retiree whose kidneys just failed, and that's the glue between me and you. That's the screws and nails. We live in a house made of each other, and if that sounds strange, that's because it is. Will someone please freeze time so I can run around turning everyone's pockets inside out? And remember, you didn't see shit.
Well, it's me again, FilmJenkins. So the other day I met GWatsky. Here are some clips.
I'm gonna lick you right across your face. Because I've already kissed you, but I've never licked you. And you'll say, oh, why the fuck did you do that? And I'll say, hey sexy, can someone just slap you across the face with a banana slug, or is that a big shiny trail of first time on your cheek? Maybe we could go back to my place and get some first time on the sheets. Not a recommended pickup line. But it's worth it. After all, there is nothing like the first time. Because the first time is always perfect. Thank you.
The screen cap image that I got, it was actually photographed in the wrong manner. Yeah. Someone took this and decided to shoot that picture like this. Yeah, that doesn't work right. Yeah, that's a huge problem for me. Also with this, I know it's sold. As the memory's out, and so is the battery. Got to get that charged. I'm doing that right now, but I just want to go ahead and get this video up here and hook up all those other, clips and make this video because I wanted to be timely for you guys. Anyway, I'm still, doing the writings. I will try and get some best of collection to share with all of you. So continue to stay tuned. Make sure that you're subscribed to FilmJenkins, and I thank you very much for watching. Some more words about the GWatsky show. It was interesting. He gave a great selection of his poetry and some fantastic performances there. It was a great night of student and college age poetry. It was a real slam. The night through. Whenever he's in town, show up. Of course, he's as entertaining in person, maybe more so in person than he is online. So, keep an eye out for his tour dates. I should have researched that for you. In fact, I think I can probably put something up for you guys on the screen somewhere here, or in the links down below in the description. Oh well. That's all for me here.
How are you guys doing out there so far? Thank you so much for having me. This is really, really awesome. I appreciate being here, and you guys are already such a receptive, awesome audience, so thank you.
Yeah.
They are. Can I give you some specific compliments then? Yes. You were the man who read a poem earlier, right? Yeah. You said that my compliments were generic, so I think it's important that I give you specific compliments. So you know that I'm not pandering to you. I thought your poem was wonderful. You're an extremely sensitive man. I appreciate your vulnerability on stage. I appreciate the fact that you started your poem off and then you took another direction with it. I think that misdirection is really important in writing, and I thought that you did a great job. You, sir, who drove from Oklahoma, you're fucking awesome. I also love Harry Potter. I think that you are also a man who's not afraid to bare his soul on stage. That's awesome. To the woman who did a poem about making the first move on guys, that's pretty sweet. Fucking smash gender paradigms. Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. To all you guys out here for being a diverse and ideologically, socioeconomically, and all the above crowd, thank you for being a crowd in Texas who defies the stereotype that Texas is all one group of people, because that's bullshit too. Thank you for showing up to see a poetry show. Thank you for showing up to read your own work. You're phenomenally talented for a student body. I already know that. You brought a lot of people out to see a poetry show. This does not happen in every school. Those are specific compliments, and I really do truly mean them, so hope you don't think I'm pandering to you. Until January 2011, I put out a video of me rapping really, really fast with my cat on a table. Overnight, yeah. I've been posting like 8-minute poems about death and mortality, and you know, it's the 90-second poem of me rapping fast with a cat that changes my life. And you know, I'm really, really proud of it, but what I'm most proud of is that that video got a lot of people to watch my other stuff. And there were a lot of people who saw that, for whatever reason, saw a spark in it and chose to check out the 8-minute poems about mortality. And so there were people who became familiar with that work too, and that's been extremely gratifying. But what that newfound YouTube attention has allowed me to do is to actually play clubs with a band. And so this summer I went on tour for the first time. It was just a lifelong dream of mine to be able to actually play the country for people who were somewhat familiar with the material they were going to hear. And it was just the time of my life, in a van with 6 friends and traveling all over the country. And so that's what I'm in the process of kind of gravitating towards doing that more. Not because I don't like spoken word as much as I like rap, but more so because I like collaborative art and I like traveling with my friends. And when I do this, I'm traveling alone. I'm renting a car and I'm staying in some extremely glamorous quality inn and suites. And it's been a great 6 years, but it's kind of run its course, so I'm looking for a new adventure with a bunch of friends of mine. So if you happen to want to come, my band is playing Dallas on, I think, November 3rd. 6th? That's awesome, so someone knows. So yeah, I'm playing the House of Blues Cambridge room with my band. It's going to be a different show than what you're seeing tonight, but not completely different, in that when I start rapping, I don't become like a different version of myself or a caricature. Like, you're still getting me. It's just me in 4/4 time, where the lines rhyme at the end and not just in the middle. So if you feel like coming, it's gonna be real fun. We're also playing San Antonio and Houston, so we're giving Texas a lot of love this time around. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at in the world these days. I want to talk a little bit about my parents, because they're such a big part of why I do this and how I got to where I'm at. And my mom is a librarian. She's an elementary school librarian in San Francisco. Yeah, give it up for the librarian. I'm extremely proud of her, and she's actually the only full-time librarian with a dedicated library left in the San Francisco Unified School District, which is actually really fucked up, but like, I'm really proud of my mom for digging her heels in, because library budgets are getting slashed all across San Francisco, and she kind of was like over my dead body, like, fuck you, you know. So that's what my mom does. My dad started out as an English professor in San Francisco, and he moved from Manhattan. My mom comes from an Episcopalian, like very waspy family. My dad comes from a very, very stereotypically Jewish New York family, and he was his only child. He moved from Manhattan to California within a year or two of when the San Francisco Giants did. And he's a big baseball fan and raised me to be a big baseball fan. So if you are a Rangers fan, you hate my team, the San Francisco Giants that I root for. Are you a Giants fan? Are you from San Francisco? How did you wind up at the University of North Texas? Awesome. That was well done, sir. Yeah, but I don't say that to be like, fuck the Rangers. This is like just kind of background to a larger story, which is, so my dad moved from New York to San Francisco with this team that he loved very much, and he was always a nerdy fan, never like a super athletic guy, and he moved to San Francisco, I think right before the Summer of Love, and that's where he met my mom. Haight-Ashbury, hippie movement, long hair, all that, and he became an English professor at San Francisco State University. And then he lost his job during the free speech movement in the 1970s, and he went back to school to become a psychotherapist because he couldn't get any work as an English professor. So my dad is like the nerdiest, most awesome dude. He has 2 PhDs, which like, why would you ever possibly need that? But he just knows too much shit about everything, and except for playing baseball. And so he taught me when I was young how to like throw and hit and stuff. But he taught me like the worst, terrible mechanics that you could ever impart on someone. So I played baseball through high school, and I spent most of the time trying to just unlearn all of this shitty technique that my dad had taught me when I was younger. But mostly I was a fan too. I didn't play after high school, and I would go to games with my dad, and we would stay up late watching. For those of you who don't know baseball, a no-hitter is when the team that's on defense doesn't allow any hits to the opposing team. And a perfect game is when that team doesn't allow any hits, but also doesn't allow any runners to walk, doesn't allow any hit by pitches or errors, so no base runners get on base for the opposing team. And until this year, that had only happened 3 times in the history of Major League Baseball. 11 times, not 3 times. But it was still very rare. And my dad and I would stay up late watching games. If the Giants would get close, we would stay up past my bedtime, hoping that it would happen. And then eventually the other team would get a hit, and it would unravel, and I would go to bed. And this year, my dad was at a Giants game, and he has season tickets, but he has really good season tickets. But every time there's a really desirable game that someone would pay a lot of money to sit in his seats, he sells those tickets for a big markup, and then he goes and sits in the shittiest seats in the whole stadium looking down at his really good seats, so he doesn't lose money on the tickets. But this game was a Tuesday night game against the Astros, like the worst team in Major League Baseball. I'm sorry. That's just the numbers, unfortunately. That's science. And the Astros are horrible. Ask Bill Nye. So my dad was there at this Tuesday night game that was expected to just be like a throwaway game. And suddenly I'm watching in Los Angeles on my computer, and it's the 6th inning, the Giants have a perfect game going. And I think, no way is this possibly gonna happen. I start calling my dad on his cell phone to make sure he's watching the game, but he doesn't answer. And so I assume that he's just like taking a nap or something. He's just like down for the count. And an inning passes, the Giants still have a perfect game going, and another inning passes, and the Giants still have a perfect game going, and then suddenly there's 1 out left in the game, and then the Giants get it. They get the only perfect game in the history of their franchise since they moved from New York. And I was so bummed that my dad, I assumed, wasn't watching because he didn't answer his phone. And then I get a call on my cell phone right after that, and I say, Dad, like, I can't believe you missed the perfect game, it finally happened. And he was like, I know. I was there, motherfucker. It was awesome. He does not talk like Dave Chappelle when he gets excited, but he has that spirit within him. And then the next morning he calls me saying, "Oh, George, I haven't been this hungover since I was 30 years old. I feel so awesome right now." But I thought it was CGI, so why don't you decide if we're computerized and assuming you and I are alive and tomorrow's the rapture, I wonder what you want to do tonight. I don't want to end up as an anybody. Everybody is an anybody, made of arteries and antibodies, and you never get to see confetti without getting bloody. If you read ahead, you'll all be surprised. Spoiler alert. We're all gonna die! But I'll be hooping in the driveway and the clouds shooting fouls to that big orange ball in the sky. And when I die, I want to say, well, I made it in way celebrated and remain as a staple. If I stay hella faded, then I'll fade, and my fate will be the same as the fakers of the chains on the labels. Shame people do it for the fame and the cash, not the flame and the passion. I train through the pain, and I frame every passage as a way to stay fit, because an 808 kick is my Gatorade drink. I'm almost never in the city I was born and bred in anymore. But everywhere I tour, I'm repping black and orange. I'm trekking back and forth, forgetting what I'm packing for. Gotta travel more and add a couple saddle sores. Got these battle scars from riding in the cattle car. I'm not noshing on some caviar, I'm gnawing on your apple cores. Mental checklist. You're Mr. International, but last I checked, I'm Mr. Continental Breakfast. Condiments and Chex Mix. Condoms when I'm sexless. But I'm optimistic I'll dismiss my bigger issues when I fit into some mistress like the long block in Tetris. See, I was roaming in Wyoming when the po-po were arresting me. I told him I was questing for my destiny. I always end up in detention because I'm itching and I'm searching for adventure in each city I go. And now it's 4 a.m. again. The radio alarm is kicking in. I've been to every shady old La Quinta Inn in Michigan. I'm hitting the ignition till I'm stripping off my Michelins. But if you catch me bitching, then remind me how magnificent this life is. How the struggle's priceless. See, I've got those lovely troubles that you couldn't put a damper on. Each unhappy camper on this planet is a champion, and if you think you're hopeless, and you'll never be like Kobe, and you've got an empty mantle because you never won a trophy, man, well, you still won that marathon of swimming that fallopian. And I've learned, I've got a lot I could lose. Because frankly, there's a lot of dead sperm in the socks that I've used. We would have loved to be the feet in the socks in my shoes. So you better get to walk until those spoiled feet are bruised, and then sow your royal oats until you're growing something new. Cause I don't really give a damn about a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow if it's being on a billboard. From the moment I saw Charlie Tuna rocking under the multicolor lighting and concert at the Fillmore, I'd kill for punks and B-girls. Never gonna matter when we spinning like a water cannon, make a waves in the workout, recommend a park, you'll be feeling like you're in the front row at SeaWorld. Gonna hike until I make it, it's a good call. Taking the mic and I spike it like football, like a running back, like I'm under the gun but I'm never gonna crack, never could fall. It's like I'm Arnold, I'm skinny but I'm picking up a barbell fine. Gonna make it put my pen to the paper, popping out a novel in a minute like I'm R.L. Stein. Gotta try cause I got a fool's chance. Grab this mic in a middle school dance. Take it from the DJ and I rap until they pull the plug. I'm at him to stop it or until they get danced. Fuck it, they can pull the plug. I'm gonna kick it, acapella doctors and my ankles at a telephone feeling. Even if nobody is listening, I yell it to the ceiling and I celebrate the fact that I'm alive and I'm breathing. Thank you. For the memories. And now it's time to get to walking. You've been right there for so long. I'll let you do the talking. Thank you.